Today we are solving equations with variables on each side. In example 1, we have 5x plus 2 equals 3x plus 8. The first step is to get x to one side of the equation. In order to do that, I'm going to take away 3x from both sides. That leaves me with 2x plus 2 is equal to 8. Now that I have a standard two-step equation, all I need to do is subtract the 2 from both sides of the equation. After I subtract 2, I have 2x is equal to 6. And then the next step is to divide. I need to divide by 2 on both sides of the equation to keep that balance. And I will get x is equal to 3. In our next example, I have 15c plus 7 is equal to negative c minus 25. So the first step I'm going to take is to add c to both sides. I know that 15 plus 1c is 16c. And that leaves me with 16c plus 7 equals negative 25. Now I need to subtract 7 from both sides of my equation. But what I'm really doing is adding a negative, so that gives me 16c is equal to negative 32. My final step is to divide by 16, and I will get c is equal to negative 2. In example 2, with rational numbers, I see I have 2/3 x minus 1 is equal to 9 minus 1/6 x. I notice that both my denominators are different, so the first step I take is to change my denominator from 2/3 to 4/6, because I need to add that 1/6 x to both sides, and I can't do that without having a common denominator. When I add 1/6, now that I have 4/6, I will get 5/6 x minus 1 is equal to 9. Now all I need to do is add 1 to both sides of my equation. That leaves me with 5/6 x is equal to 10. Now, remember, we have to take our reciprocal to undo this fraction. So I'm going to multiply by that reciprocal on both sides of my equation. Now remember, 10 is a whole number. I can put it over 1. That leaves me with x is equal to 60 divided by 5. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. So x is equal to 12. Example 2a, let's try this one more time. I see that I have two different fractions, but I know that I can get a common denominator of 10 by multiplying by 2. So my new equation goes from 1/5 x to 2/10 x plus 8 is equal to 1/10 x plus 9. Now I'm going to subtract 1/10 x from both sides of my equation. That leaves me with 1/10 x plus 8 equals positive 9. Now it's a two-step equation. I need to get rid of 8 on both sides of the equation, and that will give me 1/10 x is equal to 1. In order to get rid of my fraction, I need to multiply by my reciprocal, which is 10 over 1. Again, you can put 1 over 1 in order to multiply. And 10 times 1 equals 10, divided by 1, again, is still 10. Example 3 is a little bit differently. We're going to be asked to write an equation to represent the problem. This problem states that Green's gem charges a one-time application fee of $50 plus $30 per session for a personal trainer. Breakout Gym charges an annual fee of $250 plus $10 for each session with a trainer. For how many sessions is the cost of the two plans the same? Write and solve an equation to represent this problem. Check your solution. Okay, so we know that $50 plus $30 per session is Green Gym's cost. And then Breakout Gym charges an annual fee of $250 plus $10 for each session with the trainer. Okay, so we need to rewrite these as equations because we need to see when the two sessions will be the same. We're going to let S represent the number of sessions. So what that means is we will have $50 plus $30 times S is equal to the Breakout Gym, which charges $250 plus $10 times S, which is the session. All right, now that I've set them equal, I'm going to solve. I need to take away 10S from each side of my equation. That will give me 50 plus 20S is equal to 250. Now all I need to do is take away 50 from both sides. And once I find that, I will get 20S is equal to 200. And last, I need to divide by 20 to solve for S. S is going to be equal to 10. So that means that after 10 sessions, each of those gyms will have charged the same amount of money. Example 4, Ryan's Rentals charges $40 per day plus 25 cents per mile. Road Trip charges $25 per day plus 45 cents per mile. I'm underlining my important parts here. So I've got my $40 per day plus my 25 cents per mile. And I know that I'm going to be multiplying by my miles. The next one is $25 per day plus 45 cents per mile. Again, I'm going to be multiplying by the mile. We need to see when they are the same cost. So we're going to set these equations equal to one another, and then we will solve. So my first equation is 40 plus 0.25 m, and that will be equal to 25 plus 0.45 m. All right, when I solve my equations, I like to take the smaller number away from the bigger numbers first. So this time, I'm going to take away 0.25 m from both sides of my equation. That'll leave me with 40 is equal to 25 plus 0.2 m. And that just means 0.2 of a dollar per mile. All right, now I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides, and that will leave me with 15 is equal to 0.2 m. Okay, I'm going to show you guys some division over here because I know there's some confusion of when we divide with decimals. So let's see. Over on the side, I want to have 0 and 2/10, and I want to move that decimal over one place so that I'm no longer dividing by a decimal. But that means that I have to add a decimal point here and add a placeholder here so that I can move the decimal. 2 goes into 15 7 times. That's 14 with 1 left over. Bring down my 0. And then 2 can go into 10 5 times with 0 remaining. All right, so that means that 75 is equal to M. So after 75 miles driven, that is when those two car rental companies will equal the same amount. If you have any questions, be sure to ask.